Hello, I am finally making a video to show you how to regrip your tennis racket consistently the same way all the time. The reason why I think it's so important to do that is because it helps you develop more muscle memory, which helps you with becoming more consistent. Because what I've noticed is that a lot of people will regrip their racket randomly. And for those that carry more than one racket, one handle always feels different than the other. So you're kind of creating extra work for yourself to readjust to the grip every time you're playing on the court. Whereas you could just have your hand land in the same place all the time and feel the same all the time. Kind of like strings. You wouldn't just put in random strings and then put in random tension without knowing, or wear two different shoes on each foot, or play with three different balls on the tennis court. It wouldn't make sense to do any of those things. So I do feel that regripping your racket is equally as important as the tension and the type of strings that you use on your racket. So let's get started, and we're actually going to do this from scratch. We're going to start from the very base, because it's important that you do it this way so that you can achieve the final result of what I'm going to show you. Okay, so most rackets already come with a replacement grip. I recommend you get a new one. The reason why is because around the butt cap, it's already been molded, so it'll be difficult to manipulate by using the same one. Whereas if you get a new one, it's completely new. It hasn't been molded or affected by the stretching, and you can do this the way that I'm showing you. So normally what I do is I find a spot. Normally I always pick the longest part right here, or you can start here, wherever you want. And as you're going around, you're pulling quite firm. And the reason you're doing that is because you want the edges and the bevels to pronounce, okay? So I'm gonna just go right through this and try to explain to you what I'm doing as I'm going along. And as I'm pulling hard and as I'm going along the grip, oops, I'll get in the center here, I'm looking for the edge. Right here, right here. And the reason why is because they will give you these gaps all the way through the racket. And the byproduct of that, the end result, is that you will be able to regrip with the overgrip symmetrically around the handle perfectly. Oops, almost dropped it there. Okay. Trying to speed through this so I don't lose your attention. Okay. Okay, here we go. Look at that. You see those gaps? See all those spaces as the light is hitting it? Those are going to be indicators for me when I put the overgrip. And what I'm trying to do with the overgrip is I'm trying to land edge to edge on every ring as I'm going along. So that way, there's no inconsistencies, there's no creases, there's no weird bumps that sometimes will happen when you're regripping your racket, and it comes out the same all the time. So imagine that you're in the middle of a match and you're trying to regrip your racket, and all of a sudden you're like, why does this one feel different now? Why does it feel different than before? And you want to spend time adjusting to that? No thanks, not me. So I start, normally sometimes it will happen that you'll get kind of like a bare spot on the butt cap. So I'll just start there and go along. Okay, let me get right in front of you. Oops. Restart there. Okay. All right. And I'll explain to you what overgrips I use and which ones I don't use for specific reasons. Okay. And as I'm going along, I'm using this finger as an indicator if I'm too far past that gap or if I'm too below. And if I'm too far or too above, I just readjust. That's all I do. And you can see, as I'm going along, I'm falling within those spaces of the handle. Okay? And even when I'm looking down each ring, I can see it. Okay, keep going. Almost done. And I'm not pulling very hard. Once I'm doing the handle, once I get past the butt cap, because sometimes I do have to pull hard here, so it flattens out because it's curved. But once you start getting to this part, it's easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Okay, almost done. Almost done. Here we go, and this will be the final result. Look at that. Symmetrical. All the way through. It's perfect. So, when you're putting your hand on the handle, you're creating an imprint, and that imprint is creating muscle memory, and the muscle memory helps you with being more consistent. So when I go in to switch for a forehand, I don't want to feel like anything is bothering me. I don't want to feel like anything is different than before when I'm playing a match. Same on the backhand, same on the slice, same on the serve, everywhere. Same with your shoes, like I said, you know, like you're not going to pick random strings and put it at a random tension when you play a match. You just don't do that. The purpose of having everything consistent, like I said, is to develop muscle memory, and it's kind of like a feedback loop. It basically makes you more consistent, create more muscle memory over and over and over. So not to make things more technical, this is how I do it. On a leather grip, it's even more pronounced. You can see how the edges really, really pop out. So if you're somebody that likes using leather grips, this is what it would look like. So just imagine that, right? That every time you redid your grip during, before, or after a match, there's no guesswork. Everything feels the same, identical. The reason why I started doing it this way is because it really did bother me. And I actually started out using replacement grips without using any overgrips, and I didn't know. So eventually I had to kind of get with the times because it was getting really expensive having to change them every few days or every week. And now that I've discovered how to do it this way, I don't ever want to do it differently ever again. So overgrips that I don't use are Wilson because they're a bit too narrow. So what happens is that when you're going along the gap of the grip, it will fall on the first one, but it will miss the next one. And then it creates these bumps. So I didn't like that. So I kept looking for different ones. The ones that really work well are Golden Set, Gamma, and my personal favorite are Tango, just because they're soft, they're tacky, and they're stretchy. So they're really easy to manipulate when you're pulling it. So if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. I'm more than happy to help out. Let me know what you think. I do personally think it will help you. It has helped other players that have done this for, and they swear by it. Good luck. Take care.